hypocrisy here. I want to talk about the United States and its hypocritical laws and the way they, the way they got certain things set up. We already know that the, excuse me, that the age of consent for, to have sex is different throughout all the states. You know what I'm saying? A lot of states, like Illinois, for example, the age of consent is 17. A lot of states, the age of consent is 16. Some states is 18. It varies, right? And to me, everybody, it just seems like they make it where these laws, right? They can either use the law to free you, or they can use the law to convict you. And it's kind of like the same, these little loopholes that they put on these laws and these little, it seems to me that, for like other races, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. In my opinion, I feel like the Caucasian race, they get a lot of breaks when it comes to the law. They make the law work to their advantage. That's just my opinion on things. Now, when it comes to the African American race, it seems like the law does not work to our advantage. It never does. But I'm trying to figure this out because I know they say a lot about, oh, R. Kelly, he married Aaliyah and all this and all that, which I don't think he did. Like I said before, the word annulled, it means no legal existence. No legal existence. Okay? But if you really look at throughout, from state to state, the age of consent to have sex, you're basically saying that someone can't consent, a minor can't consent to having sex. They can do it at 17 for some states, but when it comes to marriage, you see what I'm saying? They can consent to getting married, but they can't consent to having sex. And I just think it's a big hypocrisy, man. It's like hypocritical for the United States to operate in this manner. I think that to fix this problem, because I do not agree with marrying minors. I don't agree with it, so don't get me twisted here. Don't get what I'm saying misconstrued. What I'm trying to say is, I think that it should be a one law. If you say that you got to be 18, then that's what it should be. It should be that throughout every state. I don't see how that's fair to say, okay, you in Illinois, you can have sex at 17, you can consent to 17, but in another state, you have to be 18. It doesn't make sense to me. I think if they want to fix this problem, they need to make all states one accord, with each other when it comes to this rule. But the marriage laws, I mean, it just really gets really bad when it comes to age of consent to marry. As of July 1st, 2019, you had 13 states with no minimum age requirement to marry. Those 13 states at that time was California, Idaho, Maine, Massachusetts, excuse me, I don't know why I can't pronounce that right now, Michigan, Mississippi, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, the state of Washington, not the district, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Now, Massachusetts, they still, I think the minimum requirement is 12, which is a disgrace. But the point that I'm trying to make is, it's so flip-flopping. It's just flip-flopping all over the place when you think of all 52 states, and it's kind of like, how can you establish some type of law and order when you got all these states with different requirements and different rules? You see what I'm saying?
As long as the parents give consent, they can marry at 12.
Yeah, well, in Massachusetts, see, this is the thing with certain states, right? Certain states, a lot of states, like for example, if you look at Alabama, right? Alabama, the age of consent is 18. We know that, right? But with parental consent, a person can marry at 16. You see what I'm saying? So some states, you don't need the parents to consent. Some states you can marry underage. You see what I'm saying? And then, but a lot of states, yeah, you either need parent consent, or you need like the court has to give consent, the judge has to give consent. But it's that's what I mean. It's like different little requirements for each state.
I got you. Got you.
As of 2020, August of 2020, it used to be two states where there's no exceptions. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be 18. That's the end of it. You know what I'm saying? There's no requirements that can be met. If you're not 18, you can't get married. Simple. Which was Delaware and New Jersey. Now I believe Pennsylvania has changed their laws. So now there's no exceptions in Pennsylvania. There's no exceptions in Minnesota. And it's crazy because how do they expect anybody to it don't make sense. It really doesn't make sense what they're doing here. It don't make sense at all. And I just feel like it's very hypocritical to try to stone R. Kelly for like I said before, I don't believe that happened. I don't believe that he married Aaliyah, so don't get me twisted. But I'm just saying they're pushing that narrative. So I feel like, how can they stone that narrative when you got grown men all across the country are marrying underage minors? And it's pathetic, because when you think about it, if the age of consent is 18 in a lot of these states, but they're basically saying, a lot of these states are saying, if a teenager gets pregnant, they're basically like, it's like this. They're saying, if you commit a crime, then we can forgive you for that crime as long as you marry the minor. That's what how a lot of states are carrying it.
So basically, you can marry a minor. You can have sex with a minor as long as you marry a minor.
Yeah, a lot of states is like that.
As long as you're married to the minor.
If the minor gets pregnant, if you marry them, then you cannot get charged. So it's that's like one of those little loopholes where they can make the law either work for you, or they can make it, not work for you.
Not even to go as far as the pregnancy, but the thing is that you can marry a minor, have sex with that minor, but if you don't marry that minor and you have sex with that minor, you're in prison.
Yep, basically.
Okay.
That's welcome to the United States of America. That's how they get down. But like I said, they want to play with these little ages and shit, like they got the consent. Like I said, in Illinois, I'm going to take it back to Illinois. Illinois, we all know the age of consent to have sex is 17. Okay. But when you talk about marriage, see, the age of consent is 18. You got to be 18 to get married. However, with a parent's permission, with parents' consent, a person can marry at 16 in Illinois. So it's like, it's just three different outcomes like that. It's three different little ages there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it don't make sense. It don't make sense how they carrying it, man. It's like a lot of these states, man, you can marry at like 15. Some states you can marry at 17. It's like, it's all over the place. But like I said, Massachusetts is the one where you can marry at 12. And that, to me, is like,
that's crazy.
I don't understand how they can't get that fixed. But, they want to stone R. Kelly, though. They just want R. Kelly. Like I said before, they didn't want to honor the Copyright Reversion Act. But it's cool. They got it set up where, they trying to put him in prison, or they're stalling. I believe they're stalling everybody. But like I said, you can't stop God's plan for one's life. So, in the last 15 years, man, more than 207,000 minors have become legally married in the United States.